Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Of course, we are finally back at iHeart. I think I've been doing videos at home and doing videos at Converge lately, so it feels really, really good to be back. Feels good to be back. Right now, I have a special guest. She goes by Camryn, and I've been literally bugging her for a good minute to drop some damn music, and she finally did. So I am officially bringing her up on the screen and welcoming her to the studio.
What's the word, man? You already know the big one, not the little one.
It's funny because you call yourself Big Cam, and I was like, wait a minute, but I'm taller than her. So we got to talk about that.
But listen, this is the thing. When I say big, I ain't talking height-wise because I'm literally 5 foot, like, literally. But it's big energy.
I'll say the big
mindset,
energy.
Big goals, big money, big, like everything big.
Yeah.
Everything big. So it's always heavy on the big.
So, okay, for those that may not know you, because you have dropped an album before, I want to say it was called Cold Summer,
Yep.
and that was in like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So since then, and actually even let's go further back, before then, how did Cam get into doing music?
So really, I've been doing music. I've been rapping since I was 7 years old. I started in elementary school, and basically it was just on some like they thought I couldn't do it, so I did it. I used to have 2 male best friends back in the day, and I did everything. Played basketball, did everything. And when it got to like we was beatboxing on the table, and everybody wanted to freestyle, it was like, nah, you're a girl, you can't do that. So I went home, I wrote a rap, and I came back, and everybody was just like mouth drop, and I just been rapping ever since. But I didn't start really taking it seriously until I got to high school. My freshman year of high school, I got in tune with my producer, my big brother, Terry Calloway, and he had a program called Producer, and it was initially supposed to be a program that taught female youth and teens how to produce music, and I wanted to get into that. But then he heard me beatboxing. He was like, yo, can you rap? And so I rapped for him, and we just kind of took off from there. I dropped my first mixtape. I dropped my first 2 mixtapes in high school, my freshman year and my sophomore year. I did my first music video in high school. And then ever since then, I just been kind of going crazy. Yeah.
So, like, was there anyone in your family that was also doing music, or was it like this program that you ended up being a part of that kind of sparked that for you?
So the thing about it is everyone in my family does music. Everyone on both sides, my dad's side and my mom's side. My mom's side, everyone plays instruments. I grew up in church. My family's super religious, so it was like going to church, singing in the choir. All of my uncles play guitar. All of my aunts sing. And then on my dad's side, my dad was super into jazz, and my dad's one of those people who can pick up any instrument and play it by ear. And I caught on to that. I'm his only kid who has that same niche as him. So,
what would you say is like your favorite instrument to play? Like, I can do clarinet.
That's my favorite.
But that's as far as I go.
That's my favorite to play. I love playing the piano, but I was never classically trained in anything but clarinet. So all through middle school and high school, I was in concert band and jazz band playing the clarinet. So I was classically trained on clarinet. So I think that's my best instrument to play. But my favorite instrument to hear is the saxophone, for sure.
So speaking of like middle school and high school, where did you graduate?
I went to Garfield. I'm a bulldog.
Okay.
Yeah, class of 14, baby.
Were you there for the 100 year?
So, see, I thought we was going to be on Black people time, so I ended up going late. And when I got there, everybody was gone. You know, I mean, come on. It's Garfield. Like, I thought they was going to be on CP time, and they wasn't. It was on time. Like, I drove by it at the peak, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just spin back. I went to Renton and came back. It was over with. I said,
you went to Renton?
Yeah.
You at least could have parked, went in there for a hot second, said, hey, how you doing? Hope you doing mighty fine. BRB.
Look, I didn't think it was, but I thought they was about to have a blast all day. I was seeing so many people talk about it for like a month straight. I'm like, oh yeah, they about to be out kicking it. I ain't missing nothing.
Oh my
Them
God.
old folks' knees was bad. They had to go home. Pawpaw's knees hurt.
Why you gotta come for their knees?
Cause you know them knees was hurting. They couldn't be doing all that standing and walking up them stairs, man. But yeah, I went in there and I seen a couple people, but by the time I got there, it was done with. It was over.
Oh.
But then I ended up right after that. I ended up going to the Teen Summer Musical, so that was pretty nice.
Okay. So what is something that you typically get into when you're out here? You know, there's always people saying that there's nothing to do in Seattle. I be out here living my best life. I don't know about y'all. So what do you typically do out here to have fun?
So as of recently, because I just moved back, I've been doing a lot of like bars, like bar scenes. DJ Yaddy's my sister's, and I'm her DJ assistant right now. So we do a lot of like in bars, and we do a lot of like honeys and things like that, like the little in like hole in the wall places that people would never know are vibes, but they really be vibes with the good wings. Shout out to M-Bar. They got the
Come
good
on,
wings.
good wings.
But yeah, like I just be doing, I like to chill. I ain't really doing too much, and I just got into kind of like vlogging and stuff like that. So I really just been chilling since I got back home. Yeah, but other than that, Seattle, you go to the water. That's been my big thing since I've been home, going to the water. Because in Vegas, they don't have any water. You can't just go pull up on a water spot and just kick it.
When did you go to Vegas? When was that?
I moved to Vegas on New Year's Day, and then I ended up going to the military on February 15th. So I was in the Army for 5 months.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I would have never known that.
Yeah, I went to the Army.
Like, did you just not post about it?
I did. I didn't. But the thing about it is, it was very random and sporadic and spontaneous for me, just because I had got out of a relationship. I just wanted a new scenery, change the scenery. That's why I ended up moving to Vegas. And then like 2 weeks into me moving there, something popped up on my screen, just scrolling on Instagram, and it was like Army. And I just went on there, and I didn't think anything of it. But the process happened so fast that next thing I know, I was getting shipped off to basic training. And once you're in basic training, you can't have your phone. So nobody knew that I had even went to the Army, except for like my mom, of course, and like my sister. But nobody knew that I went to the Army until I literally was about to finish basic training.
Did you learn anything while you were there, or was there like any take home, or was it just 4 months of your life?
No, I definitely learned a lot. I think when I went to the military, I was in a super vulnerable spot, and I didn't really know how to deal with my emotions or control my emotions. I think one of the biggest lessons that I learned there was being able to control your emotions. Because there, you're going to get yelled at by people all day. They don't care if you're having a bad day. They don't care if you're cramping. They don't care if you don't feel good. Like, you better get down and do them push-ups if they say. You just really got to suck it up and just, like, push through it. Or even just, like, when you're doing exercising, or if you're rucking, we have to ruck, like, a 10-mile. If you're rucking and your feet get tired, you have to keep going. So I think it just really made me become a lot more resilient and a lot more just, like, now I have a theory of, like, your mind quits before your body does. So it's just like whenever I feel like I'm about to give up on something, I just make my mind push a little bit further. And then I get past that feeling of wanting to quit, and now I'm ready to tee up again. So I think that was one of the biggest takeaways from it, for sure.
See, that's just, I think for me, when it comes to things like the Army and the military and all that good stuff, I think it's the you have to do this while I sit there and do it that irritates me. It's like if I work out with someone, I'm always that person to where I'm like, I need my trainer to do the push-ups with me.
But see, this is the thing. So one thing that I really loved about my drill sergeants in particular, and this isn't for anyone like all drill sergeants, but my drill sergeants in particular, if they made us get down and do something, they were doing it with us.
See, I can work with that. It's the ones where it's like drop down and give me 50. I'm like, you mean us? Like, there's room for you too.
Nah, it used to be funny though, because there used to be certain points where like we would get smoked. That's what they call it. And it's like if we got in trouble or if anybody was doing anything, that's the only time that they wouldn't do workouts with us, is if we were getting in trouble. And I remember one time there's like a thing in the Army where like if you don't, while you're in a certain phase, if you don't want to do it, they punish your entire platoon. And my platoon we was so raw that like we knew when somebody was having an off day. And we just took it, So one day I was having an off day and my drill sergeant was telling me to get on the ground. And I'm like, I'm not getting on the ground. And he's like, if you don't get on your ground, your whole platoon has to hit the hill. I was like, let him hit the hill. They hit the hill and they came back and it was good. Like it was just like, I feel like the Army is definitely an experience. Everyone has a different experience. My experience was actually pretty lit. Like I feel like it was harder on my mind than it was on my body, but it was lit. And I also am very grateful because if I never went to the Army, I probably would have never found out that I had MS. And that was a big thing for me to go there and find that out. And now I can, better take care of myself in a way that I probably wouldn't have been able to if I would have stayed at home. So
how did you find out? Like, do they do testing on you when you get there?
So what happened is we were in the field and we were like low crawling in sand. And for a minute, I went, like, I couldn't see. And I was like, maybe I just got sand in my eyes. So I went to my drill sergeant. I'm like, drill sergeant, I can't see. And he was like, what do you mean, Jones, you can't see? I'm like, I can't see. He was like, go flush your eye out. And I'm like, okay. So I go flush my eye out. I'm like, I still can't see. He was like, go flush it again. I was like, I still can't see. They took me to the hospital. They did a CT scan because I literally couldn't see anything on my left eye for 5 days. They took me to the hospital. They did a CT scan. My CT scan came back completely normal. But luckily, because of the timing, I had to go to a civilian hospital. And if you're in the Army and you go to a civilian hospital while you're in basic training, you have to go get a follow-up at the military hospital. So I ended up having to go there on Monday, and they ran an MRI. And MS you can't see on a CT scan, but you can find it on an MRI. So when I went there, they did the MRI. My doctor automatically knew that I had it, but she didn't want to diagnose me with it because she's like, it could be a number of things that look like this, but we want to make sure because we don't want to diagnose you with this because it's disqualifying. You'll never be able to be in any branch of the military again. So they put me in something called med quarters. I was in there for 2 months. I couldn't train. I couldn't do anything. I had to just sit there. Yeah, for 2 months. And I had to go to all these different doctor's appointments and get all this different testing done just for them to tell me that I had exactly what my doctor told me that I had the first day. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, did you feel like you got some rest while you were sitting there for 2 months?
I feel like yes and no because I'm a leader, so automatically they put me to work. Like, even though you can't do too much because you're in med quarters, like, I was the bay boss, so that means I'm in charge of 30 females at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the drill sergeants don't want nothing to do with you when you're at med quarters. They just call out, bay boss. I'm running back and forth. We still have to, like, do cleaning duties, take out the trash, do all that stuff. So it's like I got rest, but I didn't get rest. We still had to wake up at a certain time. There were still certain, like, hack times for what you could do when you could do it. So it was a little smoother than actually being in basic training, but I definitely would have preferred to stick with basic training than being in med quarters. It was boring. Like, all we did was watch movies and color, and it was boring.
Yeah, you know, I feel you because it'll be like a Sunday, and I'm like, you know what? I don't have a lot to do today. I get to relax.
And then you feel crazy.
And then I feel crazy.
Like, I need to do something.
It's like 3 in the afternoon, and I'm sitting here on the couch with my feet up, and I'm just like, why do I feel like I should be doing something?
To the bar we go.
No, I usually just smoke, and I continue watching. You know, I get over it.
See,
but
I don't smoke, so I'll be like, I'm to the bar. Like,
man, me and my little vape pen.
Oh, see, now that.
Yeah, I'm not like a blunt girl or like a backwood kind of girl. I'm more of a vape pen, weed kind of girl.
Hookah.
I don't even really do hookah like that. I don't like the tobacco.
I don't like it either. Ever since I started smoking like the puff bars, because now it just tastes like pure smoke to me. It doesn't
What's
like
a puff bar?
Like an elf bar or like a puff bar. They used to have the rectangle ones. Now they got, where's it at? I got like 2 of them on me right now. Like these little things.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's just like nicotine. It's literally like a mobile hookah, but it has more flavor. So now when I smoke regular hookah just tastes like smoke. And I don't like it. Yeah.
See, I'm really not even trying to do hookah. They just like came out with something talking about people need to be careful because you can get herpes through the straw of the hookah.
Come on.
And I'm like, so that just means that you guys are not cleaning correctly.
That's exactly
like
what
I
that
can
means.
get anything. Like for me, it wasn't even just that was definitely alarming.
Yeah.
But it was more so alarming to know that you're not taking the proper protocols to really clean this. So it's like I can get that and so many other things.
Monkeypox. Like,
which is still out here living his best life.
Look, I ain't even finna fool around. I ain't doing none of that. I be nervous when I go to the bar and I drink off their glasses. Like, I be real nervous.
A lot of people have been trying to figure out why I haven't been going out lately. And I'm like, well, aside from the fact that I'm just busy trying to get my life together, monkeypox, COVID, flu season, cold season.
It's real.
Like, it's a lot happening out here.
Make sure y'all go get y'all flu vaccines. It's about that time. And I'm not even a firm believer of vaccines, but what I will say is this. I never got a flu vaccine until maybe 2 years ago, and I never had the flu. I had the flu that one time. I was sick as a dog, but I haven't had the flu since.
Interesting.
I haven't had it since.
See, I've only had COVID once.
And I've never had COVID.
I got it one time. It was only one time. And thankfully, it was like some months ago, which just means that I didn't have like the super crazy version of COVID that some people had. I was like, I don't want nothing to do with whatever y'all was dealing with in 2020 and 2019 because
y'all can't smell, y'all can't nothing.
3 months later, they're still jacked up. And I'm just like, man, I was out for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
So it just felt like a flu.
It just felt like a crappy ass flu,
Yeah, that shit sucks though.
Just sweat a little bit more.
Yeah. See, and I hate that.
It was like that. Changing my clothes. I was like, why?
Look, get in the shower, get hot, sweat in the shower. Like,
I had to take cool showers, but then you're cold and then you're warm and then you're hot. It was just a lot. And you got the body ache. So
I have never had COVID, and I am thankful because I don't have time for that.
Yeah, no, it really will take you out for a little bit. Like, even though it's kind of like a cold flu, like, it's the fact that you really do have to sit down and it, like, takes so much more of your energy away than, like, your typical flu does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. On September 18th, we're all going to Cheney Stadium for the Summer Sky Music Festival, featuring performances by Moneybagg Yo, Glorilla, Tory Lanez, Polo G, and more. Grab your tickets right now at Ticketmaster.com and use code Converge for a discount. Now, question. Did you see what happened with PNB Rock?
I did.
What did you think about that? Because, you know, there are people that are trying to blame the girlfriend, and then the cops or the detectives have said that they, like, figured out where he was through that. But my whole thing was, well, obviously he's been getting followed for a minute.
Yeah.
So who's to say that they just weren't waiting for that opportunity? Like,
I think that's what it was. I think that definitely the girlfriend's post didn't make it any better because I'm a firm believer in don't post until you leave. But I also feel like that's like a typical thing to do. I remember my first time going to California. Like, we don't know if that was her first time going to Cali. Like, we don't know if they lived there.
I think they live
there. Like,
they live in
I
California.
remember my first time going to Roscoe's. I was so excited to post Roscoe's just because it's Roscoe's and the food was nasty as hell and I was pissed. But I still posted it. Like, just because that's a thing to do when you're at Roscoe's. Like, I don't think it was like a, oh my God, like, she's doing this to set him up. I think it was very bad judgment at the time. And I think she probably should have thought about that, especially dealing with who she deals with. But I don't think it was like her like intentionally trying to, you know, get him unalived. But I think it's definitely something he had to be being watched, or someone was kind of just like following them. Like,
and it's not the first time that someone has like kind of ran up on him. He said they were like shopping somewhere and someone tried to run up on him. And they were able to get out of there in time. So, like, my whole thing is, it seems like
it's something that is just happening. But I'm a firm believer in conspiracy theories, and I seen something. I was like listing all the artists from Empire that have died.
I was talking to someone about that.
I don't know. I think they
was he on Empire?
Yes, he was on Empire. Him, Draco the Ruler. Who else? King Von. Who else? Like, there was like 11 people. Yeah. I don't take that lightly. I feel like they got some shit going on. Because ain't no way all your artists just dying. And they're all dying the same way. So I don't put it past him.
No, I honestly don't either. And I was interviewing my bro Mookie, who's on Empire also. And I was like, how do you feel about that? I'm like, you know, there's this rumor saying that you joined Empire and you might be a gunner.
Yeah,
and he was like, I mean, I feel like I'm cool. I think he just has like a distribution deal with him. So he's like, look, I'm good. But it's definitely very ironic that so many of those artists end up being just a little, you know.
And it's like they're going the same way. It's not like it's like a fatal
they're all
car
getting
accident,
ran up on.
Or they're all getting ran up on. They're about to get robbed. They're about, like, something's happening. Like, it's a little weird.
It's very weird.
It's a little weird.
It's very coinky dinky. It's very Holly weird. It's very, you know, like even with like Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears. It's very Holly weirdy.
Now that
very Holly weirdy.
That's sick. That's not.
Did you see the video?
Weird. No, I don't even want to watch it.
It's definitely soft child porn, if you will. And they're like, oh, well, it was distasteful. It was more than distasteful. I seen the damn video.
My thing is, when stuff like this happens, where are the parents?
The parent wasn't there. The
so
parent
I'm just like, y'all just drop y'all kid off to these celebrities? That's the part that's weird to me, because it's just like, especially with all this stuff going around, we have, you know, Michael Jackson, that whole thing with him, R. Kelly, that whole thing with him. Like, we really don't know what happened with those people, and we can't speak, but it's just like, in my mind, my first mind is, where are the parents?
Yeah.
Because me, I don't have no kids, but just even thinking of like my nieces or my nephews, I don't care if you're freaking Jesus himself. I'm not just dropping you off somewhere and not filling out the vibe, not seeing what's going on. Like, how you just drop your kid off somewhere and leave.
Yeah.
Just because they're celebrities. People are weird.
But that's when people automatically assume, like, oh, I know this celebrity so well, they wouldn't do that. It's like, you don't know these people. Like, not even a little bit.
Not even. And the thing about it is, there's so many people that are in the industry that pay people to portray their image to be a certain way. They can be the coolest person in the book on the internet, but they could be a real life creep in real life. And people don't think about that. And I think that is like the weirdest, creepiest thing ever. Like I blame the people who are doing whatever they're doing for sure, but I definitely blame the parents because I just feel like as a parent, you're supposed to protect your child. And then don't come out years later, months later, however long later and be like, oh, well, this happened. Like,
I feel like the only ones that I actually feel bad for in this case is the kids. Like the girl that was 14, the boy that was only 7. I was like, I can't even imagine being 15 years old. A video like that of me when I was 7 going all across the freaking internet, like in this day and age, like
crazy.
You can't tell me that everyone at his high school has not seen that video.
Right. And that's embarrassing.
Hella embarrassing. And they dropped the photo of the mom. So that way, if you weren't sure who it was.
Now you know. Like, yo, that's not even, that's
somebody's
not,
like, Auntie, is that you? Like, you know what I mean?
Like, you know that's me. Like, that's just, It just makes it does something to my spirit. And that's why I'm like, I don't think I'm ready to have kids yet because I'll be under the jail.
No, period. And honestly, I just don't really know if I want kids at all.
You're trying to be the fly auntie for life.
It's the responsibilities for me.
I don't think I'm ready to be selfless yet.
Like, even taking care of my plant is a lot, you know? A whole kid that I gotta feed and change and make sure they go to school. And I just, sometimes I only eat one time a day because that's all I have time for.
But now you gotta make time to make sure that they get 3 meals in and a couple snacks and how they...
And again, I only have to water my plant every 4 or 5 days, and that's still a lot. You know what I mean? I got to look for dead leaves. Like,
got to clip some stuff. Like, imagine if a kid falls down and get a scratch. Now you got to disinfect, put some alcohol, put some peroxide, kiss it, make it like, it's just a lot.
Meanwhile, I just hand them back to their parents right now. I don't want the responsibility.
Yeah. And I just feel like I'm not ready to be selfless yet. Like, I feel like when you become a parent, you should be completely selfless and just do whatever. And I don't think I'm there yet. Like, I'm on some fuck we ball type shit. Like, take me. I want to be the one who's able to be like, oh, yep, you about to call me, about to go to the bar? Let's do it. I don't have to get no sitter. I don't got to find, like, I'm not ready to be in that space yet.
I like to be able to just move when I want to. That's also why I don't have a dog yet. Or even
Those
like a
are
cat.
Just like kids. Do not do it.
No matter what, I gotta like find you a little babysitter. Some I gotta find a dog spot that I know isn't gonna have fleas. Like, it's just a whole tingling, and I don't want to deal with that.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Baseball is a beautiful game, especially when played in community. Earlier this summer, Baseball Beyond Borders took a powerful, eye-opening journey through the heart of the South, which included baseball, civil rights, and reconciliation. Our Young Kings hosted a baseball clinic at Jackson State University in Jackson, Mississippi, and hit the road to Montgomery, Alabama by way of the historic Edmund Pettus Bridge to visit the Equal Justice Initiative Museum and Memorial, all in an effort to ground our Kings in their history and find serenity in the sport they love to preserve the cultural legacy. Join Baseball Beyond Borders on September 27th for the premiere of our film, Reconciliation Tour, at T-Mobile Park's Ellis Pavilion from 3 to 5 p.m. Hear from those on the front line as well as special guests as we elevate our promise to bring healing through play. For tickets or to donate, visit baseballbeyond.org or check our social media platforms.
So, real quick, before we get into your album, question: what do you want to see Seattle or the PNW in general music scene do together?
I want there to be more inclusivity. I think that there's a lot popping right now. There's a lot of different artists who are in different bags and different kind of like points in their career. And I remember when I first started rapping, there wasn't a lot of us. There was like a handful of us. It was like me, Morgan, Gab, Sam LaChow, and Royce Detroit. Like, it was like those people. It wasn't really a lot of us. But I feel like now there's so many different people that I just want to see people come together, because I feel like one thing that the city lacks is just like unity. I feel like a lot of these people in Cali or Chicago or Detroit or New York come together and they make their sound, like they push their sound. Everyone might sound the same, but they push that sound and then they branch off and do their own thing. I feel like Seattle doesn't really have a sound. Everyone sounds a little different, and I think that's cool, but I think we just need to kind of unify a little bit so that everyone can get their piece of the pie. Because we always have, like, little pops. Like, you know, like, we have, like, Macklemore, we have Mosey, we have Travis, we have people like that, but there's not really an inner city sound going on. And there's so much talent that I just feel like we should have been.
But do you feel like we need like a uniform sound to do that? Because I feel like even in Atlanta or even in like the Bay, you know, I was talking to like Travis about this, and you know, like all these cities that are able to come together, each artist still has their own unique little something.
But it's all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
And I think we're just so like, because the thing about that is Cali originally already has its own sound. Like, you know, someone's from Cali just by the beat selection before you even hear them come on the beat. So they have that sound. Detroit, you can tell a Detroit beat. You can tell a New York beat. You can tell an Atlanta beat. Like, you can kind of just tell those from the music, so then people can get on those beats and kind of go crazy however they want to. But with Washington, we're a melting pot. So we have a little bit of everything. Like, people tell me all the time, you don't sound like you're from Seattle. You don't sound like you're from Washington. You sound like you're from Detroit, or you sound like you're from Atlanta. And that's not me, like, copying their style. That's just how I am. And that's the type of music that I like. So I think that it doesn't have to be uniform, but it needs to be collective. Like, it needs to be something that people can identify, this is a Seattle artist.
Yeah.
Just like they do with a Cali artist.
And I don't even know if that's ever going to happen.
I don't think it is.
Just because I feel like the way that Seattle, especially these days, is set up, it's so many people that aren't from here anymore.
Yeah.
And with them not being from here, or just some of our, like, my mom is from here, but my dad's not from here. So then you just have like a big mix of family. It's not like, you know, when you go to Atlanta where it's like you have generations and generations and like you have a couple generations here from, but for the most part, it's kind of like maybe two, possibly
like,
three generations.
In my family, I'm first generation born here. Like, all my family, my dad's from North Carolina, New York. My mom's from Iowa. My generation is the first generation that was born in Washington. So it's just like, we don't really have that thing that sticks. And I think that's why I say it's a melting pot. People come from everywhere. There's a lot of people who grew up here from like 4 or 5, but they're not really from here. So they're taking things from their parents and where their parents come from and where they spent their summers at, and they're putting it into what they do. And there's not really anyone who has like a genuine, like, born, and I'm not even gonna say anyone who doesn't have a genuine sound from Seattle, because the people that do are the ones who people be like, oh no, they're just talking about the hood. Yeah, they're talking about the hood. And so then it only specifies to like, oh, this person's from the Central District. Oh, this person's from the South End. Oh, this person's from the West. Like, and it's not just like all these places are in the same city.
Miles away.
Yeah. Literally.
Just literally miles away.
Like, it's not even like Tacoma. It's not a 30-minute. It's like 10 minutes to these places, you know? So but it breaks down like that. So I think in order for us to win, like, we need to just find a way to, like, even if it's not like putting everybody on the same type of wave, like put a couple different people from the same city, from different areas on the same song and just push it.
That would be super lit.
I think that'll be lit.
I definitely agree with that. Whether it's like a mixtape or something that gets, and we used to like do those a lot.
Yeah,
but
back in the day.
I feel like what ended up happening is over the years, a lot of the artists that were like super popping and some of them became barbers. Let's keep it a thou wow.
Yo.
Some of them, am I lying?
Yo.
Some of them became barbers. Some of them became barbers. Some of them moved out of state.
Yeah.
Some of them are selling houses now. And so it's like,
everybody did something different.
I feel like there was a big lapse where it was like you had this group, and then all of a sudden I don't know if they fizzled out, if they fizzled themselves out. I don't really know what happened.
This is what I think it is. And I can speak for myself because I had a certain point in my career where I was at my peak, like 2017 to like 2020. It was like the peak of my career. Like, this is before people were dropping stuff super heavy on like on the platforms. It was all SoundCloud based. I had like every song that I dropped on SoundCloud, 100,000 in like a week. Easy. But I think what happens is, like, you know how like NBA YoungBoy, Lil Durk. They post so much music, it's hard to keep up with their catalog.
Dude, NBA
Like-
YoungBoy, I think he dropped 86 songs this year so far.
It's ridiculous.
I'm
Or
like-
even like Chris Brown. I used to wait for Chris Brown albums to drop, but now all his albums are like 20 songs, 26 songs. It's like a lot of music to take in at once. So I think what happens is people get to their peak and get excited and start dropping like crazy, but it'd be hard for people to like take it all in. So then they kind of linger off and trickle off until that one song everybody's talking about pops up again. They're like, okay, boom. But it's not listening to the whole catalog like people used to. I remember I used to drop a project and everyone would listen to the entire project. Now people will kind of, tap in, listen to 1-2 songs, pick their favorite ones and be like, okay, I'm going to keep playing these, So I think it's just a different time than it was. Like people used to anticipate people dropping on SoundCloud. People don't anticipate the drop.
They
rap music.
don't. If anything, it's like, oh, I heard your song on TikTok.
Yeah, literally.
There's so many songs that go viral on TikTok now. All of a sudden, people are rolling loud, and they're like, how did they get there? And I'm like, if the
TikTok.
song is trending on TikTok, TikTok now connects to the streams.
Mhm.
And if I'm trying to figure out a dance or a lip
And I keep
thing,
watching this same video
yeah.
over and over again. Now this song, that's a 30-second clip, has 1 billion streams.
Yep.
Off of a 30-second clip.
Yep.
And I know for me, I'm one of those people too. Like out here, how on like TikTok they do like the sped up version of songs.
It'll be like redone or something.
Yeah, I'll Google the words. I'll be like, I know this song, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna go listen to the song and add it to the playlist because I'm like, yeah, that's hard.
Yep.
Like TikTok is really like the mastermind of social media right now.
No, period. And, there's even that song, and we were talking about like R. Kelly earlier being like convicted of like the child pornography. I did not know that was him.
I never knew that song until TikTok.
Until TikTok. And then somebody was like, shoot, I think it might have been on TikTok. And someone was like, everyone's saying all this stuff about R. Kelly. Yeah, he's trending on TikTok. I was like, how did I not know that was R. Kelly? How did that slip by me?
And it's such a, it's going
a good song.
and it's going crazy on TikTok. It's going crazy.
Lord. All right. Well, speaking of going crazy, your latest album, Heart of the City, dropped earlier this month or last month.
It did. It dropped on the 5th.
Okay. So like about a week or
Yes.
so ago. Tell us a little bit about this project. Why did it take so long? And what was the process behind getting it done?
So here's my thing, and this is why music always takes me so long to drop, because I am definitely the definition of a sitter. I will sit on music for so long,
Lord.
only because I listen to it and I be like, ooh, this is a banger. I get in the car after I go to the studio, I play it 30,000 times, and then I be over it. And so when I'm putting together a project, I'd be like, do I want to put this song in there? I already heard it. Like, it gets old to me, and someone had to tell me, like, just because it's old to you, it's still brand new to everybody else.
Yeah, we haven't heard it yet.
So a lot of the songs that are on this project, there's 9 songs. There was supposed to be 10. I ended up taking one off. But out of 9 songs that are on this project, 5 of them were done for over a year.
Oh, wow.
I only recorded 4 songs new when I came back from the military.
Oh, wow.
And after I did that, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait. So I got the cover art done and I put it on the stream. And then it was supposed to drop on September. It was supposed to drop on August the 5th. It was supposed to drop on the 5th of August. But because I have a sample of Avant's Read Your Mind in there, they flagged it. And they made me go through like a review process and I had to wait. And so that kind of like slowed down my process. And so, yeah, but I'm one of those people. I sit on music. I have like 30,000 songs in my email right now that I could have been dropped. And I just
sitting.
never do.
Minding their business.
Yeah, I never drop them. I don't know why though. It's like if I get an urge to drop, I'll be like, yeah, I just want to drop some, and I'll just go in there and just, But a lot of times I just be tired of them.
Do we have any singles picked out yet?
So Heart of the City is definitely a single. Read Your Mind is definitely a single. And then I'm trying to choose between Prayers and Pain Music. Everyone thinks Pain Music. I don't know what everyone's obsession is with that song, but everyone loves Pain Music. So I think it's going to be Pain Music, but Prayers is my favorite off the whole project. And that was supposed to be the intro, but I changed it.
I say do both because, like we were just saying, sometimes you'll take something, you'll put that on TikTok, and then all of a sudden TikTok will find that one lyric.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they remix the song
Yep.
or something crazy. Like just so many things happen when you just put music on TikTok. I remember when Doja Cat, her song Street started going viral. That song dropped in like 2019 and it didn't go viral until 2021.
Man.
And we literally had to play it on the radio.
Yeah.
She had to do a music video for it. She had to start performing it because
and it's old.
It's old.
Wow.
But I never even heard it until TikTok.
That's crazy.
And then everyone was doing the TikTok challenge. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, what song is this? When did she drop this? And then you look and you're like, what? This is on the Pink album? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
What the hell?
But that's how I felt when she did Say So, because I didn't really listen to Say So.
Yeah.
And then they dropped it on TikTok with the Say Yes beat to Say So. And I was like, wait a second. Wait. And so then I started listening to Say So, and I was like, yeah, this song's old as hell. And I did not know the song. TikTok's the GOAT. But I think one of the reasons why I like prayers a lot is because in prayers, when I initially listened to the beat, it reminded me of Her's Damage. So I was in the studio and I was recording the song. And at the end, I started singing, careful what you take for granted. And my engineer left it in. And I didn't know that he left it in until he played me the entire song back. And so I'm singing that snippet of Damage in the end of prayers. And I think just because that's a song that everyone knows and is super popular, that is going to be one of those things that like people connect to super heavily.
Well, that happens so much. Like, I think that's why a lot of artists do use like familiar songs, whether it's a new familiar song that went viral or like something from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, it has that feel good, like, well, I already know part of the song, so I already like it a little bit.
Yeah, like I want to sing it now.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like at the end and it just makes you want to start this. I feel like it just makes you want to start the song over, like all the way over.
I'm good for putting something on repeat.
Man, I have to. I have to every time. But that's how it was with Damage. I caught on to Damage super late, and when I heard it, I just kept looping it.
Yeah.
It's to the point where people be in the car with me like, can you please pick
Change
another
the
song?
damn
And I'm like,
song.
nah. Like, we got to play this again. Run
This
that
is why I
back.
take Ubers. They just put things on the radio, and I don't gotta worry about no one doing too much. I don't gotta worry about all that.
Hey there, it's Trey Holiday. And of course, Besa and I had to take a trip back to Market Street Shoes to grab some items. They always know what to show us. And let me tell you, we both spent quality time to be sure we collected some amazing additions to our wardrobes. They have some of the most unique bags, shoes, and accessories. I mean, the whole shebang. It's always a good time when I get to shop with my girl Besa. Make sure you go check out Market Street Shoes, y'all, and you too can walk out with some dope gear.
So tell me this. You called your album Heart of the City. What does it mean to be the heart of the city to you?
The heart of the city means I'm the blueprint. I personally feel like a lot of people who are in the game now, either they learned from me by watching or they learned from me by experience. I gave a lot of game out early. And you got to think a lot of these people who are rapping now are older than me. I'm only 26, but I've been doing it for so long. And not even as far as just like lyricism and artistry, but business, you know? I put a lot of people onto game about how to perform, how to do shows. I literally went through an artist training at 14 to where I learned how to hold my mic. I know how to stand on stage. I know that I need to get a sound check before I go on stage. I need to have this. Like, I went through a transitional period, and I put a lot of people onto that. So I think I'm the heart of the city because a lot of these people, I put my touch on them in some type of way. Like, a lot of people's first singles that went crazy was with me because I blessed it. And it's just like, it's no shade. I feel like everybody in the city is dope right now. But I definitely feel like when we talking Seattle rappers, Seattle artists in general, you got to mention me. I'm the heart of the city. And for a long time, I was the baby. So I was the underdog. And I just always upped the ante. And it's just like, I've been doing it ever since. And just like, you can't mention Seattle music without mentioning Camryn Chanel. Like, it's
I know that's
impossible.
right. Make sure you add me to every list.
Yes, period.
So,
Every list.
okay, now that this album is out, what is next?
So right now, I am definitely going to start working on a new project in the fall. And if you listen to Heart of the City, you'll notice that I'm doing a little bit more singing in the project. And I'm trying to go transition from like street rapper, super rah-rah, super loud, to like more calm, suave, more commercial, marketable. So I'm working on that right now. And I'll be starting to record that project in the spring. I'm not going to wait as long to drop another project. Definitely going to get some visuals out. Read Your Mind's going to be the first visual that I do. We're going to do that. And then I really just want to start doing like promo. like all up and down the coast. I'm gonna go to New York. I got some connects out there. Yeah, and we just about to go crazy. Like I don't really like to plan too much because I am a sacral authority type of person. So it's like whatever my gut tells me to do, that's what I do. And it may seem super spontaneous and just like, whatever to everybody else, but to me it always works.
Yeah.
When I just go with my first mind and I just move. Like I'm the type of person to be like, bet I'm gonna just book a flight to Atlanta tomorrow and then walk into somewhere and meet somebody. Like that's just how my life works. So I don't do a lot of planning. I try to be intentional, though. So my intention is to definitely get out visuals, start this next project, and just push this project. I feel like I suck at promo. I hate doing promo.
Should hire somebody then.
Yeah, I know. I need to. I need to go on like Fiverr or something because I really hate doing promo.
Just because I feel like when it comes to doing promo, if you can hire someone, have someone else do it for you. That way you can just work on being creative because the promo has to get done.
Yeah, it has to. It's a fact. But I think the thing is the transition with me from being an artist who didn't have to do any promo, I would literally be like, okay, like my status.
Yeah.
And if I get 1,000 likes, I'll drop a song. And then I'll drop the song. I'll get 1,000 likes in like 10 minutes, drop the song, and it gets 100,000 plays. Like I'm used to being that artist. So now we're in a time of you have to really promote, and it's not the people who are in your face. Like, back in the day, it's on Facebook. It's people that you know. Yeah. Now it's Instagram, people who from all over the world who aren't always going to check my page and see what I'm doing. So now I have to go crazy with the promo because I need to put it in your face. Yeah. So that I need to be on the TikTok ads. Those ads that be like, you've been on TikTok for too long. You're still scrolling.
Those crack me up because they be getting me at 3:30 in the morning. I'll be like, you right.
Let me put this phone down. But I need to be there. So That's my goal for the rest of 2022 is to just do heavy, crazy promo, podcasts, just do everything to just kind of push forth the process.
Do you have any shows coming up?
Kind of, not really. I be denying shows. Okay, let me just put this out there for the people since this is public. Listen, Camryn Chanel,
camera right there.
Which camera? This camera?
That one.
This one camera? Camryn Chanel does not do free shows. I'm not the one who needs the clout. I need the bag. So if you want to book me, the email's in my bio.
And that's on period.
And that's just that on that.
My price is the price.
And yesterday's price is not today's price.
And it never should be.
Period. But I love doing shows. That's one of my favorite parts of performing, of being an artist is performing. I love it. And if you've ever seen me perform, I go crazy. But I had to get out of the personal mindset of just I want to perform, so I'm gonna just do anything versus I need this to be professionally done. I need it to be executed because especially now in the city, there's been a lot of all these shows, they've been getting shot up. I'm not risking my life for nothing. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Not especially not no chump change.
Come on.
People be like, or you want to come to XYZ?
Or a venue that don't even got a stage and I'm standing on the floor with the rest of the people that paid $20 to get in. Like, I'm not doing that.
In this big old crowd of people.
I'm not doing that. I've been there, done that. I was doing that at 14. I'm good.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. So it's just like you got to get your bag right. And people get frustrated with me because they say I'm difficult, but I don't really think I'm difficult. I'm very specific. That's what I am. I'm very specific.
I think that this city has an issue with not knowing how to be specific up front or having all their ducks in a row. Yeah. Like they'll hit you up knowing good and well that everything is still mad loosey-goosey. Yeah. They don't know what their budget is. Yeah. They don't really know anything. They don't have a date, a venue. Like they don't have a lot of information. And then when I'm like, go hit my agent, it'd be crickets.
Yeah. And then they want to make it seem like you're a bitch. But it's like, nah. Like, I just went through something. Somebody tried to book me. This is the second time trying to book me for the same event, same venue. First time it didn't work. Unprofessional. And I told him, I'm like, hey, just let me know when it's put together. We could do it. Still just trying to be, This time, I'm like, okay, boom. So this is what I need. Here's my fee. Here's my deposit. My DJ needs to be able to DJ. We need a section. And I need to perform at this time, at the peak of the crowd. And I need a flyer 7 days in advance for promo. Mm-hmm. I think that's very direct and straightforward. Yeah. They were just like, okay, bet. Didn't get a deposit. Didn't get a flyer until yesterday. And then they still wanted me to perform and told me I was being unprofessional because I told them I wasn't going to do it. Nah, I'm not being unprofessional. We had an agreement.
Like, I don't even have time to get my people here.
Come on.
It's like
4 days.
And it's no shade, but there's enough artists out here that do performances. The only people that come out are their family members. Yep. And sorry, but it's like I would rather have some time for, if people want to come from out of town, they can do that. If people want to drive down, they can do that.
I need, and the thing about it is with me, people know what they're going to receive. Mm-hmm. When our performance is going to be packed out. You know all the baddies is gonna be in there. You know all the rich niggas is gonna be in there. You know it's about to be a movie just because of who I am. Not only who I am, but who my DJ is. Every event that we do is packed. So it's just like, you know what you're benefiting from me being there. What am I benefiting from me being there?
Where is my benefit besides me sweating in this hot-ass club?
Come on, I'm not doing that. And they could call it what they want to. What I say in that freestyle, I said, if the city don't show me love, they flying Ocam South, and that's a fact.
Yeah.
We ain't doing that.
People definitely be hitting me up. Hey, so you want to host this event? Where is it at? Nope. I don't care how much security I got. I'm not going. You're not keeping me in certain venues for a certain amount of time.
I'm telling you. And
I'm not going to put no venues on
It
blast.
gotta be an in and out.
But
I already know. And that's crazy because the venue that you talking about right now is
probably
the same venue that I was trying.
I'm like,
That's an in and out type of situation. Like you can't, come on. You gotta come better than that.
Man.
Especially with this venue. Yeah, you gotta come crazy.
Yeah, no. And I be out there in my heels. Like, where am I running to? There's nowhere to even duck in here. Like, I'm good, y'all.
Bruh, like, you might be on the stairs. Like, it's just a lot going on.
I'm okay. Last question. One misconception of Cam.
I think one misconception is that I'm confused. I know sometimes people see me and I dress like I'm a real nigga, and sometimes they see me and I dress like a bad bitch, but I'm not confused. I'm just a bad bitch in boys' clothes, and that's just what it is. And you might see me looking like her, and you might see me looking like that guy one day. You never know. Just stay tuned. Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
I am totally here for it. Look, you guys, make sure you guys check out Camryn Chanel's new project. It is called Heart of the City. You can grab that, of course, on all streaming platforms. Until next time, you guys already know where you can find me on social media at Besa Gordon. And, of course, I want to thank Cam for coming in here and actually getting here before I did, because my butt's always late, y'all.
Look, you was on my ass. I had to make an appearance. You already know, man. So we tapped in like a motherfucker, man. You already know Heart of the City out now on all streaming platforms, man. Thank you so much, Besa. I appreciate y'all. Y'all might make sure y'all go get that. And we ain't doing nothing for free. Oh, make sure y'all go get that. We ain't doing nothing for free, man. Tweet.
Period. Talk to y'all soon. And, of course, keep that energy high.